Hello everyone and welcome to this video blog. My name is Erwin Escobar and this is Freedom and Liberty in the Ancient World. This is a study of Aristotle's Politics. We are going to be looking at Aristotle's Politics as a primary source document, and we will be developing some insight. So first of all, we're going to look at, for a little bit of context, who was Aristotle. He was a Greek philosopher, a logician, and a scientist. He lived in Athens around between 384 and 322 BCE. He was a student of Plato and one of the most influential ancient thinkers in political theory. He was invited by King Philip II of Macedon to be the tutor of his son Alexander the Great. And he was the author of multiple treatises, and one of them obviously being the one that we are discussing today, the treatise called Politics. Aristotle borrowed extensively from Plato's Republic, Plato's Statesman, and Plato's Laws. Aristotle had sympathies for both democracy as well as monarchy. For Aristotle, the word politics is the word politik, which is short for really politik episteme, which means political science, and it belongs to one of the three main branches of science. For Aristotle, studying politics was very, very important because he viewed politics as a practical science, meaning that it was concerned with good actions, productivity, and usefulness. He saw great value, great practical value to the study of politics. On the other hand, he saw, for example, physics and metaphysics as contemplative sciences, which means sciences that are concerned only with truth and knowledge for its own sake. On the opposite, he argued, politics had a practical value. It was useful to make changes in a person's everyday life. Now, for Aristotle, the purpose of politics and government was to bring the people together. He believed politics was very important because it was the glue that he saw that that glue that holds people together. For Aristotle, the purpose of political order was to enable human beings to achieve the human good rather than preventing anarchy. For Aristotle, government institutions are needed to help individuals move from where they are to where they could be if they fulfilled their human nature. In other words, according to Aristotle, the purpose of government is to craft an environment that enables human beings to unfold, to develop, to grow, to fulfill their human nature. For Aristotle, political order had the following purpose. Number one, provide security. Number two, economic prosperity. Number three, justice. And number four, a high degree of excellence that was meant to become the characteristic. And we see this very clearly in a big part, I think, in Athens, in the Athens where Aristotle lived. Now, the opposite of what Aristotle believed was Hobbes. Hobbes argued that the purpose of government, the purpose of politics, was to keep people from falling into a state of anarchy. In other words, he believed that people were inherently evil or driven to chaos, driven to breaking the law, and therefore they needed government to keep them in check. However, Aristotle argued that the purpose of politics was to create an environment that helped people get from point A to point B, meaning from where they are to where they can be if they fulfill their human nature. At this time when Aristotle wrote, he lived in Athens, in a little city of about 300,000 people. At the time, Greek civilization was composed of hundreds of independent republics with no central authority, meaning that yes, government is necessary, but government is not necessary to control people or to prevent anarchy. Instead, government is necessary to craft an environment that is conducive to the full expression of the soul of the individual. Now, in terms of Aristotle's concept of freedom from the text Politics. He says the human being is free, we say, who exists for his own sake and not for another's. In his work, Politics, Aristotle uses the term eleutheria. This term is usually translated as liberty or freedom. Eleutheria has a moral and political meaning for Aristotle. He uses this term as the contrary of slavery and tyranny. According to Aristotle, self-direction is the crucial characteristic of the free person. Aristotle recognizes freedom as the capacity to guide oneself to a place where one can fulfill its the fullness of one's soul. So, in terms of Aristotle's concept of freedom, based on a study of Aristotle's Politics and considering the etymology of the words liberty and freedom, it is viable to conclude that Aristotle's use of the term eleutheria, which is translated as freedom or liberty, refers to a condition of the soul, which is the capacity to guide oneself. But this comes in connection to an environment that is to be crafted by government, where the individual can decide to live for themselves, to seek fulfillment rather to live for another. All right. So this is obviously quick analysis of Aristotle's Politics, and the resources or references are listed here, and I look forward to your comments. Thank you.